Are you newer to sports betting and you've seen friends, family talking about something like parlays, or you've seen people online turn $10 into $10,000 overnight and you want to get in on the action? I know exactly how you feel, and in this video, I'm gonna break down the 5 things that you need to know if you are a brand new beginner to the sports betting universe in order to get started. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living, and I am here to try to help you become a better bettor. And most times people come to me and they say, Noble, you've been gambling for years, you've been sports betting for years, but I just don't understand some of the numbers. Like, I see these plus, I see these minuses, I don't know what it all means. How do I get started? How do I get involved? Well, the first thing that you're gonna really want to do is get a sports book, because that's how you actually place your bets. You have common sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM. You've got some that are overseas books as well, like BetOnline, Bovada. Whatever the case may be, just search in your local area, see what sports books are available in your state. Start signing up for them. Some of these sports books actually will give you bonuses and match the amount of money that you deposit. You definitely want to take advantage of that. But I actually want to get a little bit more nitty-gritty here, and I want to get into some of the terminology that you're really going to need to be able to understand in order to be successful at sports betting. But before I break down these 5 things, what I need you to do is smash this like button and subscribe to the channel, because I drop videos like this every single week where I'm trying to show you how you can become a better bettor and how you can learn how to navigate these sports books so you can make extra income, so you can make more money that you can be able to spend and invest on different business, different ideas. So this way you're not just gambling, but you're actually investing in the outcomes of games. And I want to help you become better at this process. And I also drop daily betting videos as well, where I give you my picks in place, and you can always feel free to play them or fade them, whatever you want to do, as we just try to continue to crush the sports books together. So obviously we're sports betting. So that means that you're making money off of sports. You're wagering on games and players, and then the outcome is going to dictate whether you get money or not, whether you get paid or not. But I want to give you an acronym today that's going to help you understand the 5 key terms that when you're getting started in sports betting that you have to understand. For you to remember this acronym, all you have to do is think about a basketball game, and when somebody goes and gets hacked, what happens? They got fouled, right? That's what I want you to think of. I want you to think of the acronym fouls. And the first letter that I want to dive into is the letter F, and that is going to stand for favorites. So what is a favorite when you're sports betting? That is the team, that is the player that the sports book has favored to win this game. They think they are the better team, they have the advantage, they might be at home, whatever the case may be, they might not have as many injuries, they are favored to win this game. How are favorites shown on the sports book? By having a minus sign next to them. So if you have a line, let's just say you have the Cleveland Cavaliers that are taking on the Boston Celtics, right? And the Boston Celtics are the favorite team. They are going to have a line like minus 2.5, minus 200. I'm going to explain what those numbers mean here in a second, but the biggest thing that I need you to understand is that if there's a minus next to the team or the player, that means that it is the favored bet. What that means in the sports betting world, it means that you're going to have to lay a little bit of extra money to take advantage of the fact that the sports book thinks that bet is going to win. So because of that, that leads us to O, which stands for odds. All that odds are is a fancy way of saying opinion, right? The sports books have opinions on who they think are going to win or lose the game. So because of that, the odd makers, if they think a team is going to win the game, they're going to now make them favored, and their odds are going to be minus 120, minus 150, minus 200. What this tells us is how much money bettors must risk in order to win a specific amount. So if the Celtics are favored to beat the Cavaliers at minus 150, that means that you have to risk $150 to win 100. Everything is in $100 units. So if you have a team that's favored minus 200, that means that you have to risk $200 to win $100. If it's minus 110, which is the most common standard odds value, then guess what? That means that you have to risk $110 to win $100. That little minus 110, that little 10 points right there, that's called the juice or the vig. That is how sports books make their money, because basically it's not always an even trade all the time where I give you 100 and I win 100. Most times when you're betting on a favorite, you're gonna have to lay a little bit more of odds odds value, so you're gonna have to risk a little bit more than what you're going to make back. So that is the F and that is the O. Now that leads us to now the U, which stands for underdogs. So obviously if you have a favorite, that means they're expected to win the game. So that means that's minus odd value. So what happens if you have a team that's not expected to win? That means that they are the underdog. So because they're the underdog, that means that there's a plus by their odds line. So now let's just say if we flip this example here and the Cavaliers are the underdog to the Celtics, that means that they're gonna be plus 150 on the money line, plus 200 on the money line. And what that exactly means is the amount of odds that you set to win for every $100 that you risk. So if we have a bet that's plus 150 odds, that means that the underdog will pay you out $150 for every $100 you bet. Same thing if it's a 200 and plus $250 bet. That means for every $100 you bet, you'll win 250. So that is the flip side that the sportsbook gives you. So what the sportsbook is telling you is, hey, you have an underdog. If you want to bet on them, be our guest. We will pay you handsomely for taking that risk. So sometimes if you're a contrarian bettor or somebody who goes against the grain, who likes to bet on underdogs, then guess what? You can have really handsome paydays when you can find a winner, when you can find a diamond in a rough or have a big upset. That's what you see a lot of times during March Madness. A lot of people bet on underdogs and then guess what happens? They get a nice payout when you have a 12 seed beat a 5 seed, or when you have a 14 seed beat a 3 seed. That's how you're able to make good money and turn a little something into a lot more because you bet on an underdog. But all of this information that I just broke down, favorites, underdogs, odds, you're probably wondering, where's all this information housed? It's housed in the line. And that's what the L means in fouls. The line is the most crucial part of any sports book or any bet. When you take a look at the line, it breaks down everything for you. It tells you what the spread is. It tells you what the money line is. It tells you what the total is. It tells you what the odds are. So when you're now looking to bet on the Celtics Cavaliers matchup, all you have to do is go and take a look at the line, and it will tell you exactly who's the underdog. It will tell you exactly who's favored, how much they're favored by, and now you could be able to dictate whether you want to take that risk or not, depending on how much you're set to risk and how much you're set to win. But now the last letter of this acronym is S, and that stands for the spread. The spread is very important because when you have something called the money line, that's basically a coin flip. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? Heads, tails, right? Very simple. It's either one person wins, one person loses. But when you have the spread, it gets it a little bit more detailed than that. That's what makes sports betting so hard, really. And that's why you have to be really good to have a lot of success, because it's not as simple as just choosing who's gonna win or lose a game. You can do that, but sometimes you pay handsomely for that when you have a big favorite and you know they should win the game anyway. So typically what happens when you have sports like basketball and football, they implement a spread. And what the spread is a number set by the odd makers, and what this does is it levels the playing field between the two teams, and now it allows you to drive betting action on both sides. So now let's go back to the Celtics and Cavaliers matchup for an example. Let's just say the Celtics are big favorites, right? So because everybody knows the Celtics are probably going to win this game, the sportsbooks doesn't want to pay out everybody for the Celtics to win. So they want to get some action on the Cavaliers. So what they're going to do is they're going to implement a spread. So they might make it the Celtics minus 5.5 for an example. So what that means is now the Celtics have to win this game because of the favorite minus 5.5. They have to win this game by more than 6 points for you to win the bet. It's not as simple as the Celtics winning the game outright, which would be the money line bet. It's now more detailed than that. And now you have to be able to say, are they going to win this game by 6 points or more? So this way now, if you think the Cavaliers are going to lose, or they just might not lose by more than 6, then guess what you're going to do? You're going to take the Cavaliers. So that's now how you're able to get action on both sides, because the spread basically evens the playing field, because it's no longer about winning or losing, which is the money line of it. It's now about, is this team going to win by this margin of victory? That's what makes sports betting a little bit difficult. That's why you have to be locked in and dialed. So these these are the 5 key terms when you're getting started sports betting that you have to understand. Just remember the acronym FOWLS. The F stands for favorites, which is also designated with a minus sign. Then you have the odds, which basically tells you how much you're going to have to risk in order to win the bet. Then you have U, which stands for underdogs, which is represented by a plus sign, which basically shows you how much money you're set to win by taking the risk on betting on this underdog or this team that's not favored to win. Then you have L, which stands for the line. All this information, who's favored, who's the underdog, what are the odds, what is the spread, it's all listed inside the line. And the S stands for spread, which is super important because now it levels the playing field between the two teams. And now you have to decide how much the margin of victory is going to be between these two teams. And if you think that it's going to be the case, then you take the corresponding side, whether it's the favorite, whether it's the underdog. So those are 5 key terms that you want to keep in mind. And as you're starting on your sports betting journey, you never want to overlook these terms because every bet at the end of the day is going to tie down to, is it a favorite? Is it an underdog? What is the line? What is the spread? What are the odds? That's going to dictate how much money you make, whether you win or lose. And these are the key terms that you need to understand if you're trying to have longevity here in this market. I hope you found this video helpful. I'm here to break down tips like this for you every single week. And I think this is going to be something that continues to help you in your sports betting journey as you get started. Always practice to remember risk management. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. And when you get started, start off a little bit small. Get your feet wet. Try out a few things before you put your whole bank account in there, or before you put tens of thousands of dollars, and then now you're scared and paranoid and you don't want to lose it and all that stuff. Don't stress yourself out of this. This should be as much fun for you as it is for those players out there on the court. I can't wait to see what you accomplish in this marketplace, and I'm here to help out any way I can. And I'll be back with another video real soon. Dictate your fate. Let's see what you can cash in as you start your journey. Let's go.